My name is Amit Gvaryahu, and I'm a member of the executive team at Yeshivat Talpiyot in Jerusalem. Hebron is a Jewish city. It was the center of the Judean heartland, a sacred city of refuge in biblical times, the short-term capital of the legendary King David. One of the three places the rabbis tell us are definitely Jewish places. Because, and this is what we read in the Torah this week, Parashat Chei Sarah, because the cave of Machpelah in Hebron was bought by Abraham with 400 shekels of silver and cash from the sons of Chet. Jewish places. Jewish cities. What does that even mean? We know people are Jewish, but how are places Jewish? It definitely isn't connected to the idea of ownership. Ownership is a system of exclusivity and individuality. If something belongs to an owner, it doesn't belong to anyone else, and it doesn't matter what group you're in. Why would anyone care if an owner is Jewish or not? It doesn't belong to all the Jews. Obviously, a Jewish place has nothing to do with Jews owning it. It is perhaps much more about expectations. In the rabbinic world, being Jewish is being connected to a system of responsibilities and expectations, ritual, ethical, intellectual, that surround your every action. And when the rabbis say that the nations cannot say that Hebron is stolen by the Jews, what they actually mean is Hebron and the Temple Mount and Joseph's tomb, the other two places bought by Jewish patriarchs, are places that must be owned and curated with the highest degree of sensitivity for law and justice and charity and kindness, equality and parity, and if I can use an anachronism, human rights. The Jewishness of these places has nothing to do with who owns them. Cities, Hebron included, can and should be owned and administered by those who live in them. In this case, by Palestinian residents and the Palestinian government. Hebron's Jewishness has to do with the fact that the city displays a very low level of tolerance on a spiritual plane in the rabbinic world to those who attempt to impose brutality and violence on them. A Jewish place, a Jewish city, is a city that must be administered according to the highest principles of Abraham our father. For I have known them, says Scripture, that he may commend his children and his household to keep the way of the Lord, to do charity and justice. This is what Hebron should be, and this is how Hebron should be run. Charity and justice. When it is not administered according to these principles, it is not being a Jewish place. In fact, the level of charity and justice in Hebron today have turned it into essentially a modern-day Sodom.